Jai Shri Ram. These are some random philosophical Sanatan Dharmic Hindu musings. Bharat. Bha means light, knowledge, enlightenment. Rat means one who revels in it, delights in it. So we are all Bharatas. That means people who revel in knowledge, love knowledge. We always seek knowledge. We love the process of seeking knowledge. Whether it is secular or spiritual, it doesn't matter. Knowledge is what we love. Sukh is relative. Sukha can be only relative. There is no such thing as absolute sukha. These fools, they believe that there is a continuous eternal heaven and eternal hell. Both these ideas are stupid. Only stupid, immature people can believe in that. Because continuous and absolute sukha will make you blasé. Blasé means loss of interest due to overexposure. You will get cloyed. In Telugu, moham mottadamu. Distaste due to excessive sweetness. Jaded means the same. Loss of interest due to overexposure. Suppose you are eating a lot of good food every day. Finally you will have some serious stomach problems. You will have to actually ratchet up the enjoyment. Like a drug addiction, you see, alcohol also, the dose has to be continuously increased. By how much will you go on increasing? So, this whole idea of eternal heaven is meaningless. Okay? And eternal hell, belief in that is a serious moral defect. How can God send anybody to eternal hell? When we humans are willing to release prisoners on parole, we are thinking of rehabilitating criminals. These idiots have religions which send unbelievers to eternal hell. Even if the unbeliever is probably the greatest philanthropist, that fellow has to go to hell. What kind of nonsense is this? Ask them, where will Vivekananda go? Where will Gandhi, for that matter, go? Where will so many Tulsidas go? They will say he will go to eternal hell. That statement, that answer is proof of their stupidity. Okay. Now, so we have got one clarity about there can't be anything such thing as eternal heaven or eternal hell. Then what is moksha? Now, moksha in Hinduism, moksha can be defined as release from suffering. The synonyms of moksha are redemption, nirvana, the sammam bonam. Sammam bonam means the highest good. Now, what exactly is this sammam bonam? According to them, it is going to eternal heaven. That is, eternal heaven is sammam bonam. Whereas Hinduism, we have evolved far greater than that. Our rishis have understood that eternal heaven and eternal hell, just as I already discussed, are ridiculous, idiotic, childish notions. So, total freedom. Freedom should mean that you are released from the cycle of birth and death, which means that you can come back if you want, just to help the others. So you can traverse infinite universes. And, well, I leave it to your imagination. So that is the moksha in Hinduism. In Hinduism, moksha is freedom from the continuous cycle of birth and death. Okay, now they will reject reincarnation and rebirth and all that. But the counter for that is very simple. There is no certainty, by the way. In Hinduism, we don't dogmatically insist on anything. We use logical arguments. Now ask them a simple question. If your God is so merciful, so kind, passionate, loving, and wants to save everyone, then why are some children born with horrible diseases? Why are some children born in the house of a beggar and they have to beg on streets? Why are some children subjected to sexual exploitation? Why are some children born in good houses where they get a good education, good food? Why is your merciful God doing this nonsensical criminal activity? So why do good people suffer? Why do bad people seem to be enjoying? They have no answers. Why are some children born with horrible diseases? What's your answer? You are merciful God. Why is He allowing that? Whereas our answer is, we are not sure, but we have a theory. Because if there is a God, He will not let a crime or a sin go unpunished. That much you have to accept. Once you accept the existence of God, you must accept many other things. For example, that God is omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, eh, and what else? Providential, that means concerned about our welfare, eager to help us, solicitous, eager, attentive, and willing to help us, and actually eager to help us because He is our long lost companion. That is why the Veda says, Dvasuparna Sayuja Sakhaya Samanam Vruksham Parishasvajate. So, and then finally, we have no explanations. That is why we know that God is inscrutable. Inscrutable means mysterious. We have some theories which make some logical sense, but we have no certainties here. That much we are willing to accept. That's why in Hinduism we have concepts like Krishna Leela, Rama Leela. Basically, God's work is called Leela. That means which we cannot explain. Right? Synchronicity, meaningful coincidences. So we believe in karma. Karma can be defined as, my own definition is, every action has a more than equal, more than opposite, delayed reaction. Now, not just action, every thought, word, or action. Every thought, word, or action has a more than equal, more than opposite, delayed reactions. Subtle reactions, gross reactions, nothing can be escaped. You have free will with which you can mitigate some of the effects, alleviate some of the effects. And there is something called anugraham, which they use the word grace. You have to earn it. If you can earn it, then you can pull the plug and the reactions will be burnt up. Sanchita karma is a huge backlog of karmas that you have performed by thought, word, and deed. Now, this whole backlog, if you want to neutralize, you will have to be born again and again, and every time you are born, you will be creating new karma, that is agami karma. So, how do you get rid of all this and be released? Become Krishna's agent. So, we have a simple solution. Become Krishna's agent, indulge in Loka Sangraha, and once you work for Krishna, then Krishna will become your ex-promiser. EXPROMISSOR. Ex-promiser is a word in English which means one who pays your debts. That means you take a loan and he pays back the loan. So all those actions for which reactions you have to face, now Krishna will neutralize them or he will face them. Don't worry about that. So you have pulled the plug. You can pull the plug. Cut the tree of the Ashwatha. The Ashwatha is the imperishable material world, but it can be cut with the sword of knowledge. The sword of knowledge is the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita. The word Ashwatha, na shva sthayasi, that which does not exist tomorrow. That means something that is transient, fugitive, fugacious, ephemeral, evanescent, changing, nothing permanent here. So don't get obsessively involved. Be Krishna's agent. And Krishna is not teaching anything absurd. He is not saying that you should start killing the fellow who doesn't believe in me. No inquisition, no proselytization, no murdering the infidels, nothing of that sort. In fact, he is saying we are all one family. It's Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We are all old friends, eternal friends, and our job is to help our friends get out of this mess. So, can there be anything more spiritually evolved than this? The loftiest spiritual ideas are there in the Bhagavad Gita and the Vedas. But these rascals are trying to tell us, as if they know the Vedic Sanskrit. Some idiots have translated. Adi Shankara, Ramanuja, Madhvacharya, Sridhara, Keshav Kashmiri, Abhinava Gupta. So many great scholars and sants have been born in this country. And these rascals who don't know Sanskrit and who have no spiritual evolution, they are trying to preach what is there in the Gita. Idiots, isn't it? Unfortunately, many Hindus have already got carried away and they have converted to those cults. And the problem with these Hindus is they have not read those unholy books which are full of lechery, butchery, treachery, bigotry and absurdity. And in fact, in these two cults, Asking questions is also not allowed, because questioning God is blasphemy, and the punishment for blasphemy is death. Okay, and apostasy, death. You can't leave the religion, death. If anybody abandons the religion, death. If anybody starts worshipping other gods, death. Kill, kill, kill. The whole religion is about killing. Lechery, butchery, treachery, bigotry, absurdity, killing. Hey Ram, I hope you are listening. These rants are essential, because everyone who is listening to this, I hope, will become one day a great teacher of Bhagavad Gita, so that we can uplift mankind. It is the burden of the Hindu to spiritualize the whole world. That rascal Kipling said, it is the white man's burden to civilize the Hindu. I am telling the whole world, it is the burden of the Hindu to spiritualize humanity. Spiritualize humanity. Now, time itself is relative. Time dilation, we know time is relative. If there were no God, there wouldn't be any atheists. Have you heard of Pascal's wager? Find out. Very interesting. Though Pascal was, fanatical Christian, his wager is a very interesting thought experiment. Who made the subatomic particles move? Ask the atheist. See, the law of inertia. Anything and everything will continue to be in a state of rest until an external force acts on it. So, electrons are moving. If you take a piece of metal or any solid, on the surface it is a solid, it's not moving. But if you dig deeper, you will find subatomic particles which are constantly moving. That is the electrons. The question is, since you accept science and that law of inertia, the question is, who made the electron move? There must have been some time at which the electron must have been stable, static, not moving, stationary. Then somebody must have kicked it and it started moving, and it's not stopping now. That must be Krishna. So we don't have definite answers, but we have suggestions which are logical, rational, and if you are an educated, mature person, you cannot reject this. So ask the atheist. There's something called Apta Vakyam. Apta Vakyam means the word of our well-wisher. Now, all the saints, the word saint is a Christian term. I don't want to use that, because these saints were actually criminals of history. They killed people en masse, tried to convert, and those who did not were killed. So that Saint Frantic Xavier, the Goan Inquisition, and all over the world, Inquisition, Spanish Inquisition, so many Inquisitions, and they all apologized. Pope apologized, but Pope did not apologize to Hindus, which is overdue now, for all the murders and inquisitions. Hindu Holocaust throughout history done by both Islamic invaders and Christians. Okay, now, so Apta Vakyam. Apta Vakyam means I take Tulsi Das's word, Tukaram's word, Valmiki Vyasa's words, Krishna's word, and all these words of such great personalities, incarnations and sons, as the absolute truth. Just as, ask the atheist, how are you sure that so and so is your father? Because your mother would have told you. Did you ever check up? Did you undertake some kind of a DNA test to ascertain whether the man whom you call as your father is truly your father? Now you may be angry, but maybe your mother is lying. She slept around and she herself doesn't know who's the father, and she is, in order to protect you from the infamy and the wrath of society, she must have told you that so and so is your father, and perhaps he is not. Maybe she will also say that she has given birth to you by some kind of an immaculate conception. That means without sex you were born. That is also possible. Now these fantastic stories are also there. So how can you be sure? So you have all along believed this. So you believe right now that the ceiling of this room will not fall on your head and you will not die, right? So all life is based on faith. Now the word faith unfortunately has a negative connotation. We in Hinduism use the word Shraddha. Shraddha. Shraddha is defined by Adi Shankaracharya as Guru Vedanta Vakyeshu Drudho Vishwasaha Shraddha. Now Guru and Vedanta, these are a Guru. Not all Tom, Dick and Harry can be called Guru. Guru in the true sense of the word means a person who can eliminate all ignorance and darkness, right? All jokers can't become gurus. So if you look at what all is necessary for one to qualify as a guru, then you will accept that a guru's word can be taken at face value. And Vedanta is the distillation of all the wisdom of the Vedas, which is there in the Bhagavad Gita. So these are the highest spiritual thoughts of mankind. You can take some time to understand them, but you will not, once you are fully acquainted, you cannot question them. They are so sound in logic and spirituality. So we use the word Shraddha. Now let us look at some more ideas here. So uncertainty is certain. Dogmatic insistence and opinionatedness is myopic. The atheist is dogmatically insisting that there is no God, as if he has proof. And science is myopic because science does not study consciousness. Science only studies matter. But we know when a dog dies, we say its body is here, it has left. Now what is that it? These two religions say that animals don't have a soul, as if they are the people who give souls to people. In fact, for thousands of years, they denied soul to women, and women fought back, and finally they could not withstand the onslaught, and finally said, okay, you also take a soul. And the worst thing is, for black people, Africans, they denied a soul because they felt that these people are meant to be used as slaves. That is why slavery has been institutionalized by both Christianity and Islam, whereas we don't have the concept of slavery. In Hinduism, we see Rama in everyone, not just the humans, in trees, in animals. That is why we Hindus don't kill. Unless the snake is trying to bite me, I will not. We will not even pluck a blade of grass without any purpose, because in everything there is life, there is consciousness. Krishna is the dhatu, Rama is the dhatu, the God particle. Animittam thrunam vapi chhedaye na kadachana. We don't harm anything at all unless that thing is trying to harm us, in which case we have to protect ourselves. And well, that is the eternal drama that Krishna is playing. So if you look at classical physics and quantum mechanics, they are totally incompatible, but we are accepting both, isn't it? Classical physics will tell you that there are 4 states and 4 dimensions. Quantum mechanics says there is no state and everything is in flux, and the dimensions are at least 11, there could be more. Parallel universes exist. It is queerer than we imagine and queerer than we can imagine. Bohr also said, if you are not confused, that means you have not understood anything. Einstein said God doesn't play dice. That means he meant that everything is structured and logical and rational. Bohr said, who are you to tell God what to do? Stephen Hawking added to that conversation. He said God not only plays dice, he throws them where you cannot find them. That is why we Hindus all along have been believing that God is inscrutable. God is omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, everywhere, providential and inscrutable. So we have lots of interesting theories, which if you are educated, analytical, mature, spiritually evolved, you will enjoy. That is why we are Bharatas, whereas you fellows who believe these unholy wretched books are the worst of mankind. Ye are the scum of mankind. We love Shastrarth, by the way. Shastrarth means scriptural debate. We love, Hindus love, because there is no certainty. See, this is a ladder of spiritual evolution. You have not even arrived at the LKG. Perhaps you are in LKG because you are at least accepting that there is some superior power. The atheist is worse off. He is dogmatically insisting that there is no God. At least you are accepting that there is God. That means you are in LKG. But we are doing PhD, Baba. And when will you come to PhD level? When you first discard those wretched books. Okay? Jai Shri Ram. I hope you loved this rant. I am proud to be a Hindu. Jai Shri Ram.